We've been camping on the Cactus Atlas for years, so it's about time to share some of our favorite places to camp. These are not in any particular order, just a sampler pack. In this video, we'll explore 3 campgrounds of the American Southwest across 3 different states: Texas, New Mexico, and Utah. We'll drop some campground facts on you and summarize our overall experiences with the hope that our video will inspire you to seek out some of these gems. If you take an interest in a particular campground, each one featured here has a more in-depth video where we scrutinize individual campsites in case you need to take planning to the next level. Check the description below for links to our full-length reviews or watch our campground playlist. Also, being that we camp in tents, our channel focuses more on the tent campers' needs, although we do drop some important facts for those in larger rigs. Okay, ready to get started? Let's cozy up to the campfire and I'll tell you some stories. The first campground on our list is one of our all-time favorites. Did you know, along the border of Mexico and West Texas, deep in the Chihuahuan Desert, is one of the country's most amazing national parks? Big Bend. Big Bend is pretty isolated, so you'll almost certainly need a place to lay your head for the night if you visit here. This park is world-renowned for some of its iconic stops like Santa Elena Canyon. Other sites we enjoyed were beautiful Boquillas Canyon.
Don't tell me I don't take you to the best places.
And Langford Hot Springs, where there is plenty of history and prehistory to see. Oh, and there's a hot spring on the banks of the Rio Grande, with Mexico being right on the other side of the river.
And this river right here, the Rio Grande, is all that separates me from Mexico.
We spent a couple nights at one of the national park campgrounds, Chisos Basin, so we could make the most out of our couple days down there. It was convenient for all of the locations we wanted to visit. Chisos Basin is a popular campground located in the higher elevations of Big Bend at 5,400 feet. It's centrally located within the national park and hidden away within beautiful mountains. Up here you can find critters like mountain lions, javelina, and the Mexican black bear, which is a species making a comeback in this region. The campground has 60 campsites. Overall, most sites are exposed to the sun, and some have awnings that provide shade while others do not. Watch our full-length episode to get a better idea of which sites are the most exposed to the sun. My site, Site 38, is centrally located within the campground. Here are a few of the amenities you may find at campsites here, with the awning being a variable. Each site includes a grill and a picnic table. Many sites are suitable for tent camping here. Though not all sites have an awning, some still get shade from trees like our site did. The only thing I wish was a little better was privacy, as many sites like ours are essentially out in the open. This is a trade-off of desert campgrounds though. There are some sites like Site 51 that are standout picks for some tent privacy. There are restroom facilities conveniently located around the campground that have running water. Now, for you people in travel trailers and RVs, according to the recreation.gov's website, RVs and trailers over 24 feet in length are not recommended here. There are no electric hookups, and generators were not allowed at sites 19 through 60 when we visited. They do have a dump station here, however. Within a short drive or walk from the campground, you'll find some much welcome convenience at the Basin store. It's part gift shop and part convenience store. If you forgot to bring a camping essential, chances are that you may find it here. And pro tip, if you get too hot, the store and nearby visitor center have air conditioning. And now for a couple important final notes. For Chisos Basin Campground, reservations are required and walk-ins are not accepted. You can make your reservation on recreation.gov. Wood fires are also not allowed here, perhaps ever, so when desert camping, always bring a propane-fueled way to cook. Our first visit to West Texas was a magical one, and staying at Chisos Basin Campground was one of the highlights of our trip. Big Bend in West Texas. If you didn't know, now you do. We can't wait to return one day and experience the things we didn't have time for on this trip. For this next one, we travel to northwestern New Mexico, the land of enchantment, and also the land of world-class ruins from a prehistoric culture. This is Chaco Canyon. Chaco Canyon is home to 15 large Pueblo complexes, which interestingly remain the largest buildings ever built in North America until the 1800s. One of the fascinating things about the architecture here is that much of it is aligned with the solar and lunar cycles. Here, an interpretive trail takes you straight through the ruins to view the past in ways you've likely never experienced before. This remains one of the most impactful experiences of my life. The Chaco Culture National Historic Park is in a very remote corner of New Mexico down miles of dusty and bumpy dirt roads. To make the most out of our trip, we opted to camp overnight at the Gallo Campground, inside the park. This allowed us to take our time to enjoy exhibits and visit multiple pueblos throughout the duration of our stay. We'd recommend 2 nights here to really get the most out of your time. Gallo Campground is situated inside the park, a couple minutes down the road from the visitor center and very near to the main attractions. Overall, the campground is in a dry, exposed terrain inside of a large wash. So the first thing to note is, at Gallo, bring your own shade if you need it. You'll be camping on the same ground the ancestral Puebloans once walked. One of the neatest features of the campground are the ruins built against a nearby cliff. It made me feel like I was camping with the ancients. The Gallo Campground consists of 24 operating campsites. When we visited, the campground had 32 sites, but several closed due to a rock fall of the nearby cliff in 2023. The site I stayed in, Site 24, happened to be one of the sites affected by this. It's a bummer too, because it was really cool having that ruin right in my backyard. There were other entire sections previously closed for the same reasons over the years. But that shouldn't deter you from visiting. To be honest, all of the sites here are pretty much equal, and those ruins are just steps away with much bigger and better ones around the corner. I wouldn't scrutinize the sites too much here. Privacy and shade is pretty much equal, which is another way to say that there is none. This is exposed desert camping after all. Main thing to remember is sites 12 through 16 are designed as RV sites, and the rest work well with tents. No tent camping is allowed in the RV sites. Each site has the same amenities. You'll get a fire ring with an attached grate, but just like we told you before, bring propane, as it's not uncommon for fires to be banned in this area. There's a picnic table, and perhaps best of all for us tent campers, gigantic tent pads. Within easy walking distance from each campsite are restrooms. We remarked at how clean they kept them here, and at the time they had a water dispenser that had ice-cold water. But there's not much else out here by the way of convenience. Bring all else you need with you. And now some important notes for RVers. According to recreation.gov, trailers and RVs over 35 feet in length cannot be accommodated. There are no hookups here, but they do have a dump station. And that should probably cover it for all the particulars. Now you know, you can camp inside the park in a really intriguing place. We can't understate how absolutely awe-inspiring and impactful Chaco Canyon is. Whatever your interpretation of the site is, it's sure to leave you with a lasting impression. We can't wait to return to Chaco, camp at Gallo, and continue our explorations here. Our third campground of the Southwest lands us in Utah, up near Moab, the land of arches. Many, many arches. And it should be no surprise then that there is a place here called Arches National Park. Even if you didn't know this, chances are some of these scenes before you will look familiar. One such view, Wall Street, might be a good example. Did you know this was the view in the opening scenes of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? We're still looking for the Cross of Coronado up here in Utah. Arches is in my personal top 3 of national park experiences. If you've watched our other videos, you'd know we have just skimmed the surface here at Arches. It's very difficult to see everything in this park in one trip. That is, unless you can manage a camping trip and camp inside the national park. As far as developed campgrounds go, your only option inside of Arches is the Devil's Garden Campground. The campground is located about 30 minutes inside the park from the main entrance gate. And yes, there is a lot of driving to do in Arches. Camping here gives you 2 advantages. First, you won't get caught in long lines at the main entrance gate, which can be gnarly at busy times. Second, you're deep within the park, close to many amazing things, and don't have to commute an hour a day back and forth to get there. Simply put, it helps to optimize your time in the park. Third, you can more easily get an early jump on things or a beautiful late afternoon start and avoid peak crowd levels. And trust me, it can get crowded here at times. We'll give you a couple tips on some amazing places you can go here with no crowds in a bit. First, let's dive into the campground particulars. The Devil's Garden Campground is pretty much a long, straight road with a loop at the end. On this trip, I camped at Site 51, which is one of the ones located on the back side of that loop. It's on this loop that I focused most of my attention on our full-length review, the link's in the description, because of some of the features I'll tell you about. But first, the basic amenities you'll find at the campsites here include a picnic table and a fire ring with an attached grill. Almost every site seems suitable for a tent, although as you'd see on our full-length video, some are better than others. Many sites have shade by the way of small scrubby pines at times, but it is a desert campground, so bring your own shade if that's important to you. What else can I tell you? The restrooms here have running water, and it was campground clean by our standards. Okay, not trying to rush through the stats here, but I'm excited to get to the best parts. For me, camping at Site 51 gave me access to a wealth of trails right behind my site. I also enjoyed climbing a lot of the large rocks and got commanding views of the campground from above. A network of developed trails takes you through an absolute wonderland of rocks. To be honest, I enjoyed these hikes more than anything I did on that trip, and a lot of the reason was the beautiful isolation I got, a stark contrast from the busier sections of the park. It was a maze of rocks at times. You'll find other less visited arches within the national park within walking distance. In fact, there was one of the most beautiful arches I've ever seen back there, mainly because of the overall setting. And that's why camping on that loop was so amazing. That area became my personal playground at times. It was unreal, and was perhaps my favorite developed campground experience of that year. Okay, and now for a couple more helpful facts before we wrap this one up. RVs and campers up to 40 feet are welcome, but the campground does not have a dump station, electric, water, or sewer hookups. Also, this is an insanely popular campground, especially during peak season, so your best bet is to reserve early on recreation.gov or keep an eye out for cancellations. We did the latter, and with luck, we booked a last-minute trip. Arches is a place I intend to return to many times within my lifetime. I'm already itching to go back. But seriously, there are fewer ways to optimize your Arches trip than camping at this campground for a couple nights. Okay, my friends, there you have it. 3 amazing developed campground experiences in the American Southwest: Chisos Basin in Big Bend, Gallo Campground in Chaco Canyon, and the Devil's Garden Campground in Arches National Park. Hope you enjoyed that little campground sampler. We love it when we hear from our viewers that we inspired them to book a trip, so don't hesitate to let us know if this video was the one that finally got you out there to experience it for yourself. And of course, if you enjoyed this, you can help support our channel by subscribing and telling your friends. We'll continue to see you on future episodes, and thanks for hanging out with us today.
I'm just gonna toss one over the river so I can say I threw a rock into a new country. We'll try to skip it actually. Almost.